Hi, my name is Euin Cobb, and in this video we are going to, I'm tempted to say attempt, but no, we're going to succeed in making orbit. The footage you're going to see today, I shot several days ago, just before, I think the day before I installed the latest version, the 1.6 version. And so I'm going to use that footage, which makes use of the earlier version, and not these new parts. But we'll get on with these new parts very soon, probably in the one after, in the episode after this one. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, my name is Euin Cobb, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to make orbit. In the last video, of course, we broke out of the atmosphere. We succeeded in doing a suborbital flight. So this time, our goal is to make orbit. So these let's see, these are the missions that we have still available, uncompleted yet. Apparently we didn't get above 2,500 meters per second, but to make orbit we will. Let's see. So we're taking orbit Kerbin. Test this, test that. A lot of tests. Many of these are really good missions. In order to earn money. There's no science involved, but you get to pick up some nice money for these missions. Okay. Test the liquid fuel engine. Let's see. Okay, we'll take this one, and that's all we can take right now. And max contracts is 2. In order to get more missions, we would have to upgrade this. It's a pretty cheap upgrade. We're at we've got 500,000. We should probably upgrade that. Okay, so we've now upgraded it, which means we can probably get more missions. Right now we have these, and we were using the hammer just a little while ago, and we may use it again, so I say we go ahead and get that. And let's see, Rockamex brand decoupler on an escape trajectory out of Kerbin. We're not going to go to escape yet. Yeah. We don't have a Terrier engine. I don't know. We won't get any of those, but we'll be using it in flight over Kerbin. No, we're not going to worry about it right now. Instead, we're going to build a rocket that we can escape the planet. Oh, we have to go and get some more tech. How much money have we got? Okay, we have 49. That means we can only get one of these. Let's see what's available. Batteries would be nice. Ooh, a 2-hot thermometer. That's that we can get science with. I think I'll take take this one. Of course, eventually we'll unlock all of the stuff. I was tempted to get the the Terrier engine, but decided against it. Okay. Whenever you're building a rocket, I rely on Kerbal Engineer to find my numbers. I know from practice that I need, because of that I'm a little bit sloppy in my maneuvering, that I need about 4,000, that is 4 kilometers per second, 4,000 meters per second. And this is how much is provided by the first stage, and this is how much is provided by the second stage. And the two stages together total this. If there was another stage, this would still be the total. Each one would be added into the succeeding one. This is a 2-stage rocket. It has these 2 that it throws off when they burn out, and then this one is the second stage. Said another way, these two engines are thrown away, and then this engine continues on after they're gone. So we're going to need some more thrust. So we're going to need almost another 1,000 meters per second, almost, about 850. So what are our options? We could add more of these on the first stage, but it's already pretty powerful. We're taking off at almost at 4.5 Gs. Or at least we have thrust for 4.5 Gs. We're fighting 1 G, so really only accelerating at about 3.5 Gs when we leave the pad. Yeah. So, that's the swivel engine. Okay. To do what I just did there, I pressed the Alt key and clicked on something, which makes a duplicate of it. Oh, I need a separator. Stack decoupler. The reason my numbers are not adding up right is because my staging is off. Okay. By the way, if you look here, you notice this red, this button is red. If you press on it, you'll see what's wrong. It's a warning indicator. We have 31 parts, and this building is only allowed, or the launch pad is only allowed to have 30 parts because we need to upgrade it. And so if we're to get rid of something, say these, well, now it's okay. Now 29 parts of 30 that we're allowed. Let's see. My numbers are not very good right now. I want to make sure my staging is okay. Yes, the staging is fine. Okay. Still not good. Maybe I should have gotten that Terrier engine, but I'm going to try a different tack. Let's get rid of that and change these out for the Thumper engine. But that may put us overweight. In fact, I suspect that it will. I need to get 2. Symmetry at 2. Yeah, we're overweight. Significantly overweight. Okay. Let's see. That. Yeah, it still wouldn't give us enough thrust anyway. Let's find out. Hold on a second here. Let's save this and go outside. So I want to see how much would it cost to upgrade this building to be able to handle the greater weight. Or is it the building? You right click on a building to find out max parts supported is 30, and the launch pad max vessel weight 18. This is the problem for the weight, not for parts. So it's only 75,000 to upgrade it, and we have, well, a little under $500,000. So apparently we can afford that. Okay, so now it's been improved, so we can go back in here. build a much heavier craft. Now, we're only allowed to go to 30 parts, but we can go way over on mass. Okay, so we've got these. Let's see. I want to move them up a little bit. Turn this back to 2, symmetry. Okay, let's lower them a little bit. Slide them down by clicking on that. These have an ejection force of, what is their ejection force? An ejection force of 250, which is exerted at their point of the mounting, which means that as it kicks this away, it'll kick the top of it out first, which will give it a cleaner separation. Okay, put it back on. Placement. Some caps on top of these here things. Now we want some more fuel, and we can reduce our part count because we now have bigger engines that are about the same size as 2 of these. Okay, we're now at 39,000 meters per second, and we are still under our parts. We could, if we wish to, change these out for these types of fuel tanks. May not be necessary, but I'd like to have those mystery goo containers back. So let's see. That'll reduce our parts by 1. Oh, and we have the new thermometer. So I'd like a thermometer, which we can put on here. Of course, we also have the new comm antenna, but I don't think we really need it right now. Okay, we'll just put it right here below the antenna. Okay, so make sure our stages are not touching our fins. Yep, they're good. Now, I'm a little bit worried. These when these start off, they're going to kick upward, which means that their bottom is going to stick out a little bit. As long as they don't wrench it free of this and tear themselves loose, which I've actually never seen happen, we should be okay. And when they separate, they should separate pretty cleanly. Okay. And we are still not carrying the Science Junior right now because we're relying on the tiny, what do you call the tiny reaction wheels in here to maintain orientation during re-entry. So we're now at 3,800. Why am I at 3,800? Because I was up, I was above 4,000 there for a minute, wasn't I? Do these weigh so much that they only weigh 0.05? Let's find out. Take them off. No, that's not the problem. Let's see. How many parts do we have left that we can stick on here? We have, no, we're over on parts. We have 31 parts at this point. So we need to let's change these out. For these. 26 out of 30. Oops. Okay, we're okay with parts. We're okay on weight. Electricity is required but not generated. But we don't have any solar panels right now. I don't believe. We do have batteries, which could go in the service bay. How much electricity does this thing carry without any additional outside batteries? Electric charge, 50. And these carry 200. And we have room enough for 4 parts. So we're still on double symmetry. It's right in the blast field, though. I see the reason I don't want to put them here because they could block the door, and if we have the opportunity to do an EVA report, we would not be able to open the door. Oh, I had that set on double, on 2 symmetry when I put the thermometer on. I only wanted 1 thermometer. There's no need of having 2 of them. Placing the batteries so close to the blast field, but it probably will be okay. And even if we blow the batteries, it would be during re-entry when we really wouldn't need their additional electricity at that point. Okay, so we're at 3986, very, very near. We have room for 3 more parts. So, just to be on the safe side, we'll take 1 more unit of fuel. Oh, and we need to put our fins back. Oh, if we put our fins on, we'll be over on parts. Well, can't do with 3 fins. That won't. Actually, now that we have the swivel engine, we don't really need fins. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we can launch okay with the swivel engine. Plus we have a swivel engine here for the upper stage. Okay. Yeah, so I think we should take 1 more tank. But should it go here, or should it go in this stage? Generally, upper stages are smaller. Not quite half, but close to half of the lower stages. So let's try here and see what it does to the numbers. Okay, 4098. $4153. Okay, well, that's better by about 60. Well, over 50 anyway. Okay, so electric charge is required but not generated. Okay, we're gonna have to make do with the extra. These are 100 batteries. How much electricity? Electric charge is 250. We got 50 electric charge in the capsule, and 100 there and 100 there, so 250. That should be okay for a couple of orbits. Okay. Okay, looks pretty good. This we're going to rename this one Orbiter. Manned Orbiter. Manned Orbiter. Oops. Okay, Manned Orbiter 1, and we will save it. and fly. Now, once again, our goal here is to make orbit and to return safely to Kerbin. Okay. We can do a temperature scan because we have the new thermometer, the too hot thermometer. Doesn't give us a lot of science, only 2.5. Okay. Now we have to watch our electricity. By the way, these engines actually generate a small amount of electricity. Okay, double check our staging. Looks good. Okay, throttle up, hit the T for our control system, and hit spacebar. Pretty steady. Okay, when we get to about 16,000, we're going to want to roll over toward the east. And the reason, I'm going to throttle down a little bit, is we're getting close to 3 Gs. The reason we're going to roll over toward the east is because we can use the planet's rotation. 5 Gs. Oh, about to burn out. Okay, very nice. Getting rid of them. And we're about 23,000, so we're going to tilt over a little bit. A little more. We're getting up out of the atmosphere. That's good. Okay, we've already got our height, so we really need to go horizontal. I'm going to throttle down a little bit. Okay. I'm going to throttle down some more. That's our ultimate height. That's our location. And of course we launched from down there. Let's see. Okay, we got plenty of height. Hit the M key. M as in map. Go back out. M key again. It just toggles your view location. And we can throttle down to 0 at this point. We've got plenty of fuel. We've got plenty of electricity. So we're doing pretty well. Jebediah looks fine. And we are currently at over 100,000 or 100 kilometers, 100,000 meters altitude. Now, if we were to not thrust at all again, we would crash into the planet Kerbin right about there. But as we get closer to our height, our ultimate apoapsis, we will thrust horizontally again. Oh, and I don't know if I ever finished saying why we're thrusting toward the east. We thrust to the east because the planet Kerbin rotates from this direction toward the east, so that by thrusting our craft to the east, we combine our speed with the speed that Kerbin already gave to us. We combine our speed that we had sitting still on the surface with that is the rotational speed of Kerbin, with our actual speed that we gain with our engines. Okay, we are approaching. I think we can probably throttle up a little bit. Okay. Now, I've talked about the nav ball before, and that's the direction we're heading. It's called prograde. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see that our orbit is extending slowly here and on the other side. And after a while, it'll reach all the way around the planet, and these two ends will touch. Okay. Uh-oh, I think we ran out of fuel. Yes, we did. Which is unfortunate because we did not actually achieve the height needed for orbit. Orbit within the game Kerbin, this game is defined as 70 kilometers altitude, and this is our low point of our orbit at 32 kilometers, which is not orbital, which means we have not achieved orbit, and we have not succeeded in completing our mission. Although we did test the swivel engine. Achieve goal. Orbit. It says achieve goal. We've achieved that. Huh. Okay. Unexpected this is. Okay, so it says that we have orbited. I guess because it's a complete orbit, and in theory, we might be able to survive this dip into the atmosphere and pop out the other side. Clearly, it's a complete circle around the planet. And the reason that we did not succeed in getting above the atmosphere on both sides is because I wasted too much fuel on this side. So that on this side, we're going to almost 200 meters, or excuse me, 200 kilometers above the surface, which means that I did not succeed in circularizing my orbit. Circularizing an orbit is one of the goals of achieving an orbit for the most efficient method. That is to say, if this side was at a lower altitude, say half of this, only 100, then this side would have been higher and would have most likely extended outside the atmosphere, in which case we would be outside the atmosphere all the way around Kerbin. At any rate, the goal was to achieve orbit, and apparently we have achieved orbit. So, but of course there's part 2, and that is to return safely to Kerbin. But at this point, because we've run out of fuel, we can't. Oh, wait a minute, we're going to dip into the atmosphere. So, we can return safely to Kerbin if with a little care and a little practice. And by the way, I'm perfectly confident that I can bring the craft in for a safe landing. But if you're not confident that you can do that, then you may want to create what's known as a restore point. So this is a good time to tell you about restore points. There are 3 types of restore points, or at least there's 3 reasons that they're generated. There's automatically the game will create restore points, just maybe based on a timer or spontaneously, whatever. But you don't rely on those. Instead, you create restore points, and you can create them 2 ways. You can press the Alt key and press F5. Now, this is a manually generated restore point. I'll do it again in a minute. But you can also press F5, and it says over here, quick saving. See, quick saving. That means it's saving a restore point. If you press Alt and F5, you get to write a name for the restore point. So we're saying, let's say first orbit of Kerbin. If I can spell it. First orbit of Kerbin. Okay. So, and then we hit save. So that if we go over here and that restore point is now saved. If we go over here and get all whacked out of position and go in backwards and burn up in the atmosphere and kill Jebediah, well, that means that we can press Alt again and press F9 and not F5, F9, and it gives, if I'll actually press it. Okay, F9, and it says choose a file to load, an FSS. I don't know why it says it's FSS. These are the restore points. So that we can click on that one, and we can click select. And it would take us back to that time, that point in time where he had saved this restore point. And anytime you're doing something for the first time, especially if it's something really tricky, like your first landing on a moon, or on Duna or someplace that's, and you're worried you may mess up, you create a restore point before you do it, preferably well before you do it, and then you can go back to that point. I remember the first time I did a manned landing on Duna. I happened to be coming in. I hadn't planned ahead, apparently. I thought I had. I came in, and I was approaching from a direction where I was going to have to make a landing on the nighttime side. Now, fortunately, I had lights on my craft. But I went in the first time and crashed. And went in the second time and crashed. I had to make the landing, I think it was about 5 times before I finally got a safe landing. And then I did not have to restore again. Okay, we're going to cancel that. Okay, we're not going to use that restore point. Okay, now, I've mentioned before that you can speed up time up here. Now, we don't really want to sit around for I don't know, what is it, like 10 minutes or something to get over there. So, we're going to speed time up. Now, mind you, we have no fuel. Oh, and I need to dump my craft, too. Let me slow down time to normal speed. Hit M. Yeah, we're on the night side of the planet, opposite the sun. Let's get some nice nebula so I can see. Okay, well, there's the mun. And there's our craft, and, of course, the capsule. So, we're going to hit the space bar to do our next stage. Okay, we got rid of that. Now, we can turn around. Yeah. Okay. Now, hit M again. Now, our low point on this orbit is about 32. Generally, you'd come in maybe around 27 kilometers if you're re-entering, say, from Minmus or whatever. But 32 is probably close enough to slow us down and bring us in. It looks like we'd probably land right about over here, maybe so it may be mountainy, but at least it'll be daylight, so that's good. Okay, so speed up time. Okay, that's change in sound. It automatically dropped us out of time, speeding up time, because if you're within a certain distance of the planet, you're not allowed to drive speed up time as much as we had. So, are we in the daylight now? Yes, we're now in daylight. Okay, our electricity is still good. That's good. Yeah, we're in daylight, and that's the rest of our craft that we disengaged from a little while ago. Now it says crew report, so let's go ahead and get a crew report. 4.5. Can we get any science out of that right now? No, I don't think so. Okay. Go to M and see how far we are. Let's go back in, because I want to make sure we're pointing in the right direction. And it looks like we're pointing forward, which is not the right direction. Yeah, that is the symbol right there. That is the symbol for retrograde, and that is the center mark of our nav ball. It just stays there all the time. This would of course move. Okay. So we're going to line those two up. Now you can see we're starting to heat up. We're below 50. apparently I rotated around just in time. And Jebediah looks fine. And in case you're curious, if we had succeeded, oops, it was just changing orientation. If we had succeeded in making orbit, and I was paying as little attention as I actually was to our fuel, then we would have been stuck in orbit because we ran out of fuel without me noticing we were running out of fuel. And if we had been above 70 kilometers, we would not have this opportunity to re-enter the atmosphere and to slow down and return to Kerbin, which means that we would have to do a rescue mission, which I am not good at those. See how our batteries are heating up right there? Yeah, they're only rated for, I think, 1200 degrees. I think it doesn't say, but even if they blow off, I don't think that we really need their electricity right now. We may have needed it earlier in the mission, but I don't think we need it right now. Okay. We are over ocean at the moment. And we're at 32 kilometers altitude. There are missions in the game that are designed for you to go up into orbit and rescue a Kerbin who is stuck in an orbit. I have tried doing those missions, and it's like the one thing that I'm really bad at in this game. There's some things that I'm super good at, and some things that I'm acceptable at. But that's one thing I really suck at. Trying to match my orbit with their orbit, that's easy. Matching an orbit is easy for me, but matching an orbit and being where they are at the same time, no, that's hard. But I've probably done, I don't know, maybe 100 or 150 re-entries like this, so this is pretty natural to me. Nice sunrise. By the way, we're our G-force is almost 3 Gs. We because we were dipping into the atmosphere so shallowly and at such a kind of a high altitude, we have not really gotten too harsh of Gs, and already we're cooling off. We're still above sound speed. You can see that it's got the characteristic curvature of a sonic boom. And it looks like we're landing on water. We are at 8 kilometers. Now, we can't blow our chute until we get below 200 meters per second. But that won't be a problem. I don't imagine. We're a little over 4 meters up, or 4 kilometers up. Okay, we're below 200. Okay. I never get tired of seeing that parachute open. Yeah. it's a nice feeling to know you actually succeeded in getting back to the ground safely, even though you're not actually on the ground. That parachute indicates a measure of safety. Okay, I've hit the T key to turn the navigation off. I mean, if I hit the T key and turn it back on, it allows me to rotate, and since it's trying to, maintain a weird direction, it uses up the battery unnecessarily. Okay. Okay. And it's right side up. And EVA report. No, probably can't do one. EVA report. Nope, no science. Okay. B for board. And let's see. What about a thermometer reading? Review report. Oh. Keep data. Okay. Okay, now we go back to the Space Center. And in order to get our recovery, we're going to have to go into the satellite tracking station. And, oh, there we are, right down there. Oh, it's the month. And hit recover. And recover. Let's see. Oh, we only got 8.2 science. Okay. Well, that's not very much. Got some nice funds, though. And no experience gain and no reputation gain. Well, man, I would have expected more making orbit. Okay. Well, that means that with this much science, that means that we cannot get any more parts at this point. Oh, and I can show you another trick. The sun is setting now. It's behind the mountains over there. The buildings are going into darkness. But with that, I mentioned earlier about you can change the speed of time. Yeah. And now the sun is rising again. Yeah, this is actually a really handy trick because if you're launching a craft, it's really usually better for it to be in daylight because once you get to, especially if you have solid rocket boosters, once you've lost your boosters and you're burning more efficient fuels, liquid fuels, it can get kind of dark and it can be difficult to control the craft, or at least to know how you're controlling the craft. It's hard to control something you can't see. But anyway, that's this lesson. You guys have a great time, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye for now.